This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
All right, if it's Tuesday, you know it's movie reviews and more. So I'm excited to be here because I've been waiting for this date for a long time. We had this guy booked for a long time. We had another person booked for a long time. And I'm not even going to say who they are, but here we are, live on K4HD, radio podcasting, live on Talk4 Media, TV, radio, and podcasting. Let's see, here we go. iHeartRadios, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, Apple TV, Google Play, plus whatever the case is, streaming on over 100 outlets around the world, and all this too. Worldwide TV Network, WomenOnTV.tv, and IT247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. I can't leave that out because, Terry, we are at 4,700,000 views and still climbing just in Tennessee alone. And that number one show that we did is at, I think by tomorrow, it'll switch over to officially 900,000 views. That was the first show we did in 2018. It's still moving. That's unbelievable. And with this, it's Giving Tuesday. So we have to always say this. So Roxy, you'll like this. If it's Giving Tuesday, so I always say to this. For my favorite charity, St. Jude's Hospital and the Dreamweaver Artist Ranch, which is our environmentally friendly, sustainable, and net zero ranch. So I always say this. Give to any charity that is your favorite. And I say this, and I'm going to start it off. I'll be the first one in the world to kick it off. I'm going to do every Tuesday. It's going to be Giving Tuesday, not just one out of the year. Why not give every Tuesday? So I'm kicking it off right now before the year ends, going into the next year. Every Tuesday, give to your favorite charity. I don't care if it's once a month. I don't care if it's $5. It doesn't matter. It all adds up. Everybody needs it. And yes, support small business. That's very, very business because why they need the help. So with that, I got to say, Amanda, I've been waiting for this show. So who are you and where are you coming from? Because I got a little surprise for you. Go ahead.
Oh, boy. I'm a writer, director. I'm from New York. I grew up in New York City. I've been working in the business for a really long time. I teach screenwriting. I have a passion for story structure. What else do you want to know?
I know. There's a couple other things. But here's the other thing. I got to go to this young man because I call him a young man because he is, for one. So the good thing, not only is there our friend, but, he's an international bestseller. He's an inspirational speaker. I love his show because he doesn't know I chime in and watch his show. I try to watch as many shows as I get a chance because why not? We all have to support each other's shows. I'm glad that he's on here. He's been booked for over 3.5 months. I feel bad that I kind of made him wait, but Terry, we had no room. And Mark understands that. He goes through the same thing. He understands this. But it's one of those things. He's one of the most sought after PR people in the business, and I'm honored anytime that we get a chance to talk. And yes, I call him at sometimes 4 and 5 in the morning my time because I just want to check on my friend, the one and only Mark Stephen Pooler. Mark, it's good to see you here. I knew you were going to be here. I knew you weren't going to cancel, no matter how bad. You would have dragged your ass to be here, wouldn't you?
Hey, Brian, thank you so much for inviting me on. This is my second time on to movie reviews and more. Hey, everyone, it's great to be here today. I'm Mark Stephen Pooler, the global profile builder. I support entrepreneurs with digital media. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief of MSP News Global and the TMSP agency, a premium media and PR agency. I'm also a web TV host, radio host, inspirational speaker, and international best-selling author.
See, I can't say all that. I don't have time to say all that. And my other thing is, so we got to say hi to Roxy because it's always good to see her. And you know what? Nonstop. She continues to show up. She's here no matter what. And Terri, I got some fitness people coming on that we've been wanting for the longest time. I'm almost got them nailed down. And you know who are Dr. Sonny Andrews and another one named Barbara Cedra, Olympia Wellness, obviously competitors and qualifiers for the Misty Olympia. So they're coming now. It's just their schedules. They're coming. So Amanda, let's start up with you. Talk about what's been relevant for you. And guess what? I interviewed your dad.
I knew you were going to say that. When? Tell me when.
For the movie Crash.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did for Crash. It was him. They paired. I just remembered. And I only knew this about an hour ago. So, Mark, I didn't know anything about her dad or anything like this because I don't like to look people up. I just like to go for it. Turns out I'm like, let me see what production company that she worked for. Who is this guy? And I'm like, oh, I interviewed him for Crash.
So funny. Yeah, you sure did. Yeah, that was an exciting time. It's like, what do you want to say and not say about the Oscars, and behind the scenes and all of that. So it's for those of you who aren't aware, my dad co-wrote the movie Crash, and for that he won an Oscar. Yeah, and so during that time he did all of the Oscar runs, and Brian interviewed him, and so that's neat. It's neat, especially because Brian and I met on Clubhouse talking about movies and our love for movies, and is exactly how Brian said it, not knowing anything, and then paths cross. So that's nice. Movie lovers unite.
Well, here's the thing. Terri, I think she thought I might have been trying to pick her up or something like that because it was audio. It was just audio, and we can't see each other's faces. And I'm always inviting Terri and Mark on, and she must have thought, well, who's this strange black guy that's trying to pick me up in a clubhouse? and all I could do was just invite her on the show. And unfortunately, it was like 3 months later. But I wanted to show her what she's missing out on and how we can help those independent film writers and things like that, because you've got something that's interesting. Talk about the short film. That caught my attention.
So that's another thing that started on Clubhouse. So during the pandemic, right, we're all boxed in. We have nothing we can do, right? So a guy named Darian Donju starts this 1-minute film school on Clubhouse, where weekly we meet and we talk about filmmaking. We all want to be filmmakers, right? And he says, okay, well, you're a filmmaker if you're making films. So every month I'm going to give you a theme. You have to do the curriculum as if you were really going to produce this film, right? So if I'm going to enter into the contest, there's a contest every month with a theme, right? I have to submit a script, a treatment, a log line, a shot list, a storyboard, and an automatic, which is a moving storyboard. And then I have to shoot the movie and film it. And if I meet all of those requirements, I can be eligible to win the best movie of the month, right? And so this has been going on since March. And what's happening is that all of us are becoming this family of artists and filmmakers who aren't going to just sit around and do nothing, right? We're going to go out there and we're going to do it, and we're supporting each other. And it's not a competition between us. It's like, okay, I need help with this. I need help with my sound. What can you help me with? What can I help you with? And, when you find a community like that, and in this business, which, there's a side of the business that can be, not so friendly and not so supportive. And yet, if you just flip the rock over a little bit, there's a huge community of people who just want to help each other because we love filmmaking. And that's what I found on Clubhouse through Darian Donju. And and there's a ton of us, and we meet on Wednesday nights and Saturday mornings on Clubhouse, which is audio only. So it's great. You're in your pajamas, you don't have to care, and you're just chatting. But what it's done too, more than anything, is it's lifted the barriers, right? And so these gatekeepers who say, well, we don't really want movies about, one of the women who won twice in a row is Asian American. And she's telling these Asian American stories. And so there's nobody saying, well, we don't really want those. Well, no, I'm going to make them anyway. And now I have a platform. And Darian puts them up on YouTube, and it's just practice, and it's a way to say, here's my voice, here's what I want to do, and here I'm doing it. And the more that we practice, the better we get, et cetera, all from Clubhouse.
Hey, Mark, what do you think about that?
I was just thinking how exciting it all sounds, and what I liked what Amanda said was there's some not so nice things in the industry, but like anything, there's always good and bad, but there's so much great in this world, and there are great people out there, and when you collaborate over competition, everybody thrives. But I wanted to add, Amanda, I'm actually working on a project at the moment. It's all new, and I'm working with a screenwriter here in the UK, and we're doing my life story into a screenplay.
Wow.
So we're only on the treatment stage at the moment. And I've taken on this project thinking, oh my word, I have really jumped in the deep end here. I'm going to be getting funding to go on to the next steps, but it's really, really exciting time. So I'm really interested in what you're doing on Clubhouse. I'll have to come to some of your rooms. It sounds like it will be a great place for me.
Yes, please do. And, that's what it turns into too, right? So we're talking about our movies that we're making for the 1 Minute Film Club, but we all have our own things that we're working on. So we gather on Wednesdays and Saturdays and say, I'm doing my treatment. Here's what I'm up to. Here's what I'm up against. Who has ideas, how you can help me? And then it turns into an hour-long discussion just about how to help Mark, but through helping you now, we're all learning, and we're all, troubleshooting, right? We're troubleshooting what we need to look out for with our own projects. So okay, good for you, Mark. That sounds exciting.
Scary but exciting, but when I put my mind to something, I'm all in, and I know I'll make it a success. I've got some great contacts in the movie industry and entertainment world, including Brian, so I will definitely connect with you on Clubhouse. I really love Clubhouse as a platform as well. I think it's a great social media platform.
Yep, it is. On Fridays, also, I do Q&A. So I teach story structure. And so every Friday for an hour and a half, I hop on and I say, who needs help with their screenplay? Who needs help with story structure? Where are you stuck? And then people will come on and say, I'm stuck here. And then we chat and we talk. And so that's always a fun conversation on Friday mornings at 10 Eastern. But even besides Clubhouse, if you ever need to talk through a story, I'd be happy to hear and see what help I could offer you.
I will take you up on that offer, Amanda. I'll be asking you what you think of the first parts of my treatment and things like that as well.
Absolutely, no problem. That sounds great. Sounds exciting.
So Nonstop, I can't wait to put you in the artist room, because you got some good stuff that you're not ready to show yet, even though I think you're ready to show, but you'll show it when you want to show it. I wish you could talk about it, because it's good.
Well, again, it's I'm working on this project, and so I just really can't put it out there because I don't want anybody to steal my idea.
Right.
So it's an NFT series that I'm doing, but again, it's like before I meant it, I can't say what it is because my idea, it's the same as writing a book or any idea that you have. You can't put your ideas out there, but it will come in time, Brian. So, and then
I'll hold my breath for a little bit longer then.
Well, I can talk about training. So
okay, let's talk about training. It's after Thanksgiving. Let's talk about training. Go ahead.
I know. Well, no, I mean, it's people just don't.
Tell Amanda what you do.
I compete in fitness fitness. So
yes.
And then obviously I've been with Brian for how many years now on the red carpet, interviewing people.
I think we're going into year 7, which I can't believe.
Yeah, 7 years we've been working on the red carpet. So, but
so here's the thing on that. So when we have our event in February, it'll be Terri that interviews all these people. Terri, you better be ready, because we got a lot of people coming. Because she's going to interview all of you, not me, all her. She's going to do it. Well, she's been waiting for this.
It's just been a weird thing because, since COVID's this COVID thing, you know, the last event that we did was NAMM, and we haven't been able to do any, you know, red carpet interviews or since then. So it's, you know, I've been missing it. So I just, you know, hopefully things keep going, but who knows, you know, but we've been doing well because we've been able to, you know, do the web shows, but it's still not the same as going on the red carpet, you know, it's just not.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took time off. I mean, I took time off for competing because of COVID, because I was ready to compete, and then COVID hit, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna wait. So I mean, I have to.
You want to talk about someone who was freaking out that she couldn't go to the gym? I was laughing my butt off, and then she goes, and then they're going online and buying every product that they can find that's got weight on it.
Yeah. So every fitness person was out there ordering weights on the internet, and all the weights were sold out because everybody was having to work at home. And I was calling Brian. I was like, I need to find a barbell. I can't find a barbell, and it was just kind of funny, but. Anyway.
And I said, go out there, roll a tire, or pick up a tree. Same thing.
Improvise. Yeah, well, I got creative. You know, I made my living room basically a gym. So I did.
No, you did. You did a good job.
Yeah. So, but now it's hard. The hard thing is the holidays. You know, training and like I know I have cheat days, so I'm pretty. I said to be disciplined. The thing about COVID is a lot of people got like. I mean, even myself got a little bit lazy because you were like at home, so you're like. Okay, I'm gonna, you know, drink wine and eat. So
yeah, exactly. And wear your pajamas.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
Hey, speaking of that, you guys can't see, but I got the ones from Cute Booty, Terri.
Those are the most comfortable gym pants ever.
Oh, absolutely. I love them. Yeah. I mean, Mark, you can't see them, but they look like a leopard. They just feel great, and they're just meant for women. So she made a pair for guys. So I grabbed it. I was the first one to get it. So we have to thank Kelly from Cute Booty. So Amanda, you probably wear their leggings. Yeah. All I know.
Leggings. Yeah. The cute booty. Yeah. I got it. I'm writing it down right now.
Hey, so Nonstop. So now we have Bubble Huts. They've become one of our sponsors. So, Roxy has one. Roxy has one that she likes, and I have one that I like. It happens to be the one that she likes.
Yeah, we've got some photos here of them.
Wow.
I so want to do this. I so want this in my life.
So, Terri, that last one, I think that's the one that we'll have on the roof. I think that's the one that's the 12-footer that fits on the top of the roof before we're having our event. That a lot, you guys were invited, but not everybody's invited. So I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just going to show images, and they're going to have to guess and try to figure out when it's going to happen. Good luck.
They look amazing, Brian.
We're going to have 10 of those. So that's just one on our property.
Lamping to a new level.
Yeah.
She's coming back on within the next couple of weeks before the year ends because she's making a specific one for us now.
Nice.
Cool. So Roxy, talk about your show and why it's important. Because I like watching her show on Mondays.
Oh, my show. So we're music-based, music industry talk podcast, RA Nation. We're geared towards the new music industry because, you know, after COVID hit, things shut down, venues were lost in the midst of it all, bands broke up, and now everybody's like, what do we do? Where do we go? So we're a collaboration of getting musicians on and trying to get together, and like Amanda, where everybody likes to, we get together and we work things out together. That collaboration is important, and it's a really amazing thing. There's no competition, so it's awesome. You have to check it out, RA Nation, or on YouTube at Music Familia Productions. So
awesome.
So, Mark, you've been having a lot of people on. I mean, I don't even know how many shows you've done, but you've done a lot of shows. I don't even think you've stopped. Even when you stopped, I don't think you stopped.
I'm so busy. I've managed to fill the show up now until February next year, and I'm having to run some back to back to put 2 episodes into one space. They've had to give me extra time because I'm getting more and more people booking on, but I love what I do. But like you, it becomes hard work after a certain amount of time because you get so busy, and there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes as well. But really happy, really productive, and keeping myself busy.
So Nonstop and Roxy, because you both were here. So Mocha Bun came from Mark, and Dr. Russell Kennedy came from Mark.
Yes.
So that they were great things that came on because it added a whole different perspective. So, and Amanda, so Dr. Kennedy, Russell Kennedy, he is the anxiety doctor. He's on Clubhouse.
Oh wow. Oh
And
okay.
when I found him through Mark, it was like, wow, he had like 253 people in this room. I'm like, well, this is amazing. So, and all of a sudden he bumped me up, but I didn't know who he was. He didn't know. I don't know. I still don't know how I got bumped up, but it was fascinating because it was on anxiety, what people were going through. And he was just really cool. And, and then Mocha Bun, well, Tasha's not here today, but she got that. She tried it. And again, both of those came from Mark. So this is a great thing. So again, there's no competition or anything like that. Roxy's got her show. Mark's got his. Amanda, you got yours in Clubhouse. I just wanted to bring people together. And that's what Mark does too.
Yes, and Dreamweaver kindly sponsors my show as well. So we're all about collaboration.
Exactly. Hey, it's all about bringing more artists together because they really need the help, especially now,
Exactly.
Amanda, what else you've been working on? Because you've got a couple things that you have in development, right? As you're smiling.
I do. I'm pretty excited about a couple of projects. One thing is I wrote a pilot about women during Prohibition who were the criminals, right? So you don't know what you don't know about Prohibition is that most of the criminals were women. And the reason why that is because policemen were not allowed to frisk them. It was illegal for a man to put his hands on a woman. And so what happened was the women became the smugglers because they couldn't get searched. And it's this fascinating aspect of Prohibition. And part of the reason why I was so obsessed with it is because my great grandmother was a bathtub bootlegger, and in Hell's Kitchen, and I have been obsessed, right, about bathtub bootleggers, and so there's this book called Whiskey Women. It's actually a pretty neat story, but I won't. It's too much to tell right now. But anyway, my partner and I, she has the option for the book, and I wrote the pilot, and it's out now, being shopped around. So I'm excited about it. It's a period piece, so it's kind of tough because that's a big budget thing, but it's super exciting, and it's only a half hour. So it's a women's show, 4 women leads, criminals, crime. It's like Boardwalk Empire meets Sex in the City.
Sounds amazing.
It sounds good. I've not seen anything like that. Not even have I heard anything like that. So I think this is great.
Yes.
I'm excited about it. I really am. I love crime drama, and you don't get to see tough women criminals, the way that you see the men. It's part of the reason why Peaky Blinders is one of my favorite shows, just because of the Aunt Polly character. These strong women. We want to see those women. So
that's a really good show.
Especially when you bring back from the history and you use that empowerment that it's been happening, and it's a thing.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what I'm super excited about. I also have a feature that I wrote that means a lot to me. It's a PTSD story about a Vietnam vet who, this is a true story, who at 63, he realized that he was broken. He was afraid of the woods. He couldn't be under trees. And because from Vietnam, all those years later, and his marriage failed, and he decided he was going to hike the Appalachian Trail to combat his PTSD. So he wrote the autobiography, and then there's a twist at the end that's just gorgeous, but I won't spoil it. But yeah, so him and I have been collaborating. So I wrote the feature based on his autobiography, and it actually was a finalist in the Screencraft True Story competition. So out of 1,200 submissions, so that was pretty cool.
Cool, congratulations! That's not easy.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Those are the 2 projects that I have that I'm super excited about. Yeah.
So it goes back into really more women's stories. I mean, they've always been there, but do you think this is more evident now? And this is one of the things I want to talk to Ava DuVernay about Monday, and Hallie, because Hallie just got picked up with a 3-picture deal through Netflix because of Bruce. In case you haven't seen it, it's an excellent movie on Netflix. In case anybody hasn't seen it. But she directed it. She stars in it. This is her first time doing it. She bears all. and that's not easy to do. And I'm always wondering about these people that can direct and then star in it, because like Clint Eastwood makes it easy, but I know it's not. I could never do that.
Yeah. I think you have to really be disciplined in knowing what hat you're wearing at what time. It's really about understanding what each role is specifically, right? Because a writer does something very different than a director, than a producer. And so you really have to understand where one job ends and the other picks up, and when to take that hat off and when to put it back on. So if I'm going to write, I can't be directing at the same time, and I can't be worried about budget. But when I'm done writing, right, now I have to worry about budget, and I also have to worry about directing. And so if you really understand all the different aspects, you can do all three if you're disciplined enough. Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I see you smiling, but I think it's about the award that you won, isn't it?
Let's
talk about that.
That sounds like a hard task, wearing all of those hats. So hats off to you. I'm not taking my hat off. I've just had a hair transplant, but yes. I just think what you're doing is amazing, that you are doing everything from writing to everything else. And that's just such a great thing. I just think it must take a lot of work and a lot of productivity and having a lot of great skills as well. So I'm actually working with a writer for mine. I don't have great writing skills. Yes, Brian, I've just won an award as the Most Inspirational Speaker Action Award.
Wow.
Did you know that was coming, Mark?
A few weeks before I knew it was coming, and it was a great excuse to go to London for the weekend and have a hotel lifestyle and live in luxury for a few days.
I know, because you've been kind of trapped, huh?
I haven't really done a lot for the last couple of years because of the pandemic, and you're wanting me to come out to the States. I've been wanting to come out to the States for over the last 2 years. I had a trip cancelled in Toronto as well. And now because of this variant, it's really making me put on hold travel that bit longer, when I was just thinking I really want to get out there. But you just don't know what's going to happen with everything going on in travel at the moment.
Well, the good thing with that is that, once you're on that red carpet, it's Terri that's going to interview you, not me, Terri. That's the good thing. So you'll feel comfortable. And then you're gonna
who haven't you interviewed or met, Brian? I've seen so many celebrities like Sharon Osbourne, Paris Hilton, really top politicians. I just look at your profile thinking he has met the most incredible people.
Let's put it this way. I'm calling out all my favors, and I'm going to get out. As I say, I'm putting the band back together. But that's we haven't seen each other for absolutely. That we haven't seen each other for 2, 4, or 6 years, and they're coming from around the world. So whoever makes it to this event in February, don't be surprised who you see. And yes, that will really be them. It could be Drew. It could be The Rock. Let's put it this way. They're coming.
Well, I need to get there then.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun. And I'm just going to sit in the corner in the Bubble Hut tent, and I'm going to look through the crystal ball and just smile and say, yep, this is what I wanted. I wanted all my friends to be here, and I wanted everybody to be together. And yes, Michelle P. out of, where's Michelle? In Toronto, Ontario, I think. She's coming too. I want her to come. Yeah, there's Michelle. She's an award winner from Hasmark. I like Michelle. I got something for her put together also. I haven't even called her and told her yet, but I got something for you, Michelle. You'll be happy. Terri will be really, really happy. Now, if I can get Roxy out there, that would be like the A+ thing. Look at that. She's speechless. She doesn't even know what to say.
I don't. Honestly, I don't. All I can do is try. Who's going to run the shows when I'm out there, though?
You. I'll find a place.
We'll make it work.
I'm already looking.
Make everything work.
I'm already looking. I'm already working on it. No, that'll be, see, Southwest. I was right. No, so here's the other thing. So, Amanda, what have you been watching? Because I'm still hooked on Yellowstone. If anybody hasn't seen Yellowstone with Kevin Costner, and Cole Hauser. Oh my God, that's the show to watch.
Mhm.
And it's on Paramount Network, and I love that show. I'll talk about the writing. Excellent. If you haven't seen Bruise with Halle Berry on Netflix, watch that show. That's also good. And then on Epix, it's not available yet. I shouldn't even be talking about it, but I am because I can. It's called the Mr. A and Mr. M. Stands for A&M Records. If you know the story on Jerry Moss and Herb Albert, and yeah, Yellowstone does rock. And one of the things if you haven't seen this documentary on Herb Albert, oh my God, it's wonderful, wonderful. And his relationship with Sergio Mendes and how they put A&M Records together, which was the old Charlie Chaplin Studios, which Terri does know because she's a California native. It's wonderful. He had never been there. Think of the Carpenters. Think of Peter Frampton. Think of Janet Jackson, all those people that they took a chance on and what they made happen with that. It's a great documentary. I've seen the first part of that. So this is what I like to go, which is why I like to be in Vegas. I can hide and actually watch movies and get through stuff. And as I'm watching, and Amanda, I think she can understand this. As I'm watching movies, ideas come to me. They just start flowing because I got 2 hours to do nothing. Even though the phone's ringing, I got two phones. Even though both phones are ringing, everything's going on. I'm like, I'm just gonna enjoy myself, and I'll call them all back with great ideas for all of them.
100%.
Because that's how it happens. I get ideas coming for everybody.
Yeah, so many times, and then I'm like, wait, I'm missing the show. Put it up, rewind it, because I'm off in another land thinking of things. Totally, yeah.
What have you been seeing lately?
So I'm a step behind. So Yellowstone is 100% next on my list, but I just finished Midnight Mass, so I'm like a little bit behind everybody else because I know Midnight Mass was the big thing about, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, and now we're over Midnight Mass and we're on to Yellowstone. So, but I did just finish, yeah. I
don't know about that. What is that?
Midnight Mass?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's intense. It is it's a mini series on Netflix, and it is made by the same guy who did The Haunting of Hill House. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah,
So yep. And so it is it's a horror, right? But thriller, like horror thriller. Yeah, horror thriller. I lean more towards the thriller genre, horror thriller. But thriller is my favorite genre. Yeah. So Midnight Mass. It's on Netflix. It's scary. It's intense, but it also is like deep, and the acting's great. So I really loved it. I binged it. But Yellowstone's next for sure. That's the next one, and also we do on Clubhouse on Fridays. Friday is my dedicated Clubhouse day. We also have the room where I met Brian, which was our film Fight Club. So every other week we go and we fight over what was the best movie of each year. And so this week is 2015. So what I do, because I'm crazy, right, is I rewatch all the movies from 2015 so that I can argue well.
God.
You have all your ammo.
Exactly. So I'm ready for the fight.
I'm coming on Friday and challenging you now.
Please. It's a good year. 2015 is a lot of good ones, a lot of good movies. So yeah, I keep busy that way.
Hey, Mark, what are you writing? What are you reading?
I don't read too much, Brian, but I tell you what I did watch quite recently. I was a big fan, sticking with horrors. I was a big fan of all the Saw movies, so I watched the new Spiral film. I found that really good, actually. I really like Spiral, but I'm getting excited now that I've saw that there's a new not scary movie, Scream next year. I saw that's going to be coming out next year, and I like them as well. I just think they're not too scary, but they are really good movies, so that's what I'm excited about. But I did watch Spiral and I found that really, really good.
And then Nonstop, her life is a horror story to begin with. But Terri, what are you watching?
What am I watching right now? I hate to say I'm not really watching anything right now because I've just been so busy with everything else. I got to take some time but Yellowstone's like on my list. I have a list of stuff that I want to watch, but life has been like, I don't know. I guess it's a good thing to be busy, but like sometimes you want to relax and watch stuff. So
relax. I don't think any of us know what that is. What is that? Roxy, do you know what that word is?
Not at all.
Brian, I'm a big horror. I like horror thrillers, that kind of stuff. That's my genre.
Well, now when I'm skimming through these horror films, because they send me these links all the time, I'm like, God, let me send this to Terri. Let Terri watch it. Let her be traumatized by stuff. Yeah,
I like realistic horror movies. I don't like I like stuff that's like could really happen, like I don't know, the slasher. I don't know, the psychological horror movies are the best.
Yeah, I agree. I like Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yes, exactly.
I love Silence of the Lambs and Red Dragon and Hannibal.
Oh, I'm gonna have Jack Nicholson at the party.
Sounds great.
I can't get Anthony Perkins; he's retired, or Hopkins, I should say. But in general,
yeah. Well, it's a funny thing is when Silence of the Lamb came out, because I grew up in Sherman Oaks, and I guess he lived in my area. Because my mom came home and she's like, I was in the grocery at Ralph's, and she goes, Anthony Hopkins was there buying meat, and she goes, it was the creepiest thing. But she's like, she's in the meat aisle there, Anthony Hopkins, right after that movie came out. So it was.
I've seen that movie so many times, and I've watched it quite recently because I just love the movie. And when they finally get Buffalo Bill at the end and Jodie Foster's there on her own, it still really gets to you. Even now, it still gets your heart pumping. I really love that movie. I think it was really well made.
One of the best ever, for sure. Yeah.
Hey, Roxy, what have you been seeing?
So I just watched, I think it's a German film, I believe, but it was called Elves, and it was a Christmas holiday movie, thriller horror, and it was really, really good, actually.
When did you have time to watch a German film?
I know. I have to bring up a point. I really would like some introspect here, your insights on trailers. Why do our trailers nowadays deferring movies? It doesn't resemble the movie in any way, shape, or form. Some of them, not all of them, but you go in and expecting something because the trailer portrays it that way, and when you watch the movie, it's nothing at all like the trailer. What are your thoughts?
Well, Amanda, I'll let you go first, and I'll tell you my point of view.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just what happens is, the studios have to sell their movie, right? So they get the movie and then they go, okay, well, is this the movie that's going to get everybody into the seats? Probably not. Let's make a trailer for the movie that we think is going to get everybody into the seats. And then they have all these focus groups about the trailer. Never mind the movie, right? The movie's done. We don't care about that anymore. Right now we got to sell it. So they'll do all of these focus groups on trailers alone to see which one excites people the most. Next thing you know, that's what we're seeing, and it has nothing to do with the movie itself. And it really has nothing to do with even the writer. The writer's not consulted on the trailer. That's all marketing. It's all the marketing stuff. And so that's what's happening for the most part. I mean, not all the time, right?
But that can make a movie crash and burn at some point. That's how I felt with Mothman, honestly.
The Mothman Prophecies?
Yeah, I totally went in thinking, I was going to see monster horror, and it was actually way better than what the trailer presented, but I don't know.
I have a question. Has anyone seen House of Gucci yet? Because there's been so much hype about it, and I've saw lots of clips. I've seen many reviews, mostly on TikTok, and they haven't been very positive, the reviews. So has anyone seen it? What's your opinion?
Amanda?
So one of the benefits of having a father who won an Oscar, right, is that he gets
all the trailers. Yeah.
I get all the free movies. So I've been at his door, did it come yet? Did House of Gucci come yet? But it hasn't. So I haven't watched it, but I am fascinated by this accent. We have talked about this accent on Clubhouse for a very long time. I mean, this has been going on, this discussion of what is the accent. We went so far as pulling up clips of the actual woman speaking and listening to them side by side to go, how accurate
people said Russian. I've heard a lot of people saying Russian.
Yeah. Yep. And you kind of go, how did this happen? Where, she had a voice coach, she practiced it for a year. Was it that she's such a big star that they didn't want to say that more sounds like Russian than Italian, or what happened, right? That this is happening. So I'm fascinated to watch the whole movie, to see if it's just in the trailer, because they have that wonderful clip where that was ad-libbed, by the way, where she says Father, Son, and House of Gucci. That's an ad-lib of hers. So I'm wondering if it's that pronounced throughout the whole movie or just in the spots that they picked for the trailer. So we'll see. But
I can't
In
wait for her
all
to see it now.
fairness, I have seen a clip where they put Lady Gaga next to the real House of Gucci, and it did sound pretty similar. To be totally fair, they did sound quite close. So maybe some people are just taking it over the top a little bit.
Yeah. People are always going to have something to say, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to go back to this. So on the junket side of things, when we see our screenings, man, we would see 3, sometimes 5 movies in one day in different locations around Los Angeles. And then believe that, Mark, think about this. It would be at 90 degrees. We'd be stuck in the Four Seasons Hotel or the Essex House in New York, interviewing celebrities, which I found to be a joy. But if you're doing it every single week for years, and you only get, I would always say this, you either got 3 or 4 weekends off out of the year. One was always Mother's Day. One was Easter. You got Christmas and New Year's. However, Amanda knows this. We would have to go to see screenings on the big screen if we weren't getting our screeners. Sometimes they wouldn't send us something, so we'd have to go see it. So Thanksgiving, Terri knows this, Thanksgiving, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, the theaters would be crowded for our private screenings of things. So you never got them all. So the one thing that we did learn was they never showed us trailers. Because if I could figure it out in 15 minutes or even 13 minutes, I got so good at it, I started timing. Don't tell me anything about it. I don't want to see a trailer because it's not going to be what it's going to be. And yes, they were flipping around. And that's what we saw. They didn't want us to see trailers because we were the first to see it. We were that long leads, like in the print people. We might see something 3 months in advance and they may go back and change. And by the way, Mark and Amanda, last week, and Roxy and Terri was there. We had, I can't remember his name now. Kevin Gotts. So Kevin Getz, 35 years. What he does market research. So he's the one that brings the test audiences for all the films pretty much around the world. Now he's doing TV series and all that stuff. And Amanda, I'm going to have to bring you on with him. You won't have to wait 3 months from now. Because now that I know you, I'm just going to sneak you in and throw you in.
Anytime.
But it was fascinating, Roxy and Terri, last week having him on because he's become one of our friends now. Because the test audience, imagine this, Mark, your future project that they're doing a thing on your life story, or even Terry's one day, definitely on mine. The test audience is going to see whether they like or what they don't like. Imagine that. That's what he does.
I like that. It's great to have an honest opinion, and that's a great way of getting great feedback.
Well, Amanda, one thing he did say, because I remember this for Crash too, he did say this. The audience wants the movie to succeed. They don't go in wanting a filmmaker's movie to fail. And I had never heard that before, and that is so true. Yeah. And even us, we want to be entertained when it comes to seeing movies, not be disillusioned, say, oh, this is terrible, don't go see it, Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, everybody wants everybody to be successful, for real. And then that's why you're so angry when something lets you down, because you went in hoping for the best, right? It's personal when a movie's bad sometimes,
So I got to say this, because I think Shawn is having a hard time. Who knows what he's being stuck at, what screening, whatever, in New York. So we got to talk about the African American Film Critics Award Show, which is next Monday. I'm going. I should have my credentials in, and for everything coming up, courtesy of Shawn, for the Critics' Choice, which is January 6th of 2022, which will be good. But for next Monday, that'll be in person. So Halle Berry will be there. Will Smith will be there. Jennifer Hudson will be there, who played Aretha Franklin in Respect. Mark, if you get a chance, see Respect. That's very good. Barry Jenkins will be there. The cast of The Harder They Fall, which is an excellent film. And I've seen all these on the big screen. And yes, I did go to the theaters to see it. And yes, I still take my Lysol and spray down the chairs. But that's me. I'm a clean black guy. You know, I just want to make sure that nothing's going to happen. Hey, and I don't take chances. So that's that. So I wanted to see it on the big screen. And what I'm still doing is I am supporting those filmmakers the best that I can, whether it's throwing them on here. And I mean, how many people you know that got 8 people on their show? We've had as many as 8 people. I think even 9 was supposed to, 12 was supposed to come on, and I had to cut 2 people. That was just too much. Yeah. But Mark knows this. You wanting to get everybody in because they want to be on your show. And we're so grateful to have them on the show. But it's one of those things you don't know how the chemistry is going to work. And that's the one thing that you just can't anticipate. Just like the chemistry in Crash, all those people, all those characters coming in and making a wonderful film. Right, Amanda?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a fun fact about Crash is that all of those actors worked for favored nations. And what that means is that they all got the same salary. So nobody got a higher billing, nobody got a higher salary. They all got the same amount of money, and that's called favored nations. And so all of those stars, because they loved the script so much, agreed to do it for the same amount. These giant names, you know, and when you have a script that everybody loves, that's what happens, right?
What was it like to work for that company with you know, that production company that had that strange last name that you just happened to have?
So what happens is this. I worked for my dad for 15 years. And so I have a podcast. I'll plug my podcast. It's the Writing X Structure podcast. And on it, I explain the whole journey that I went on working for my dad. So I won't get too far into it here. But what it afforded me was an incredible education. So when I talk about wearing the different hats, right, the director, the writer, the producer hats, I got to see countless amounts of projects from start to finish, from inception, from phone call, are you interested in this story, to writing of the script, to directing it, to then and producing it, right, and then selling it in, you know, going to Toronto and having them buy it on the first night, Crash, and then having it be released, the whole bit. So that was my education. So I'm very, very lucky to have trial by fire film school.
Did you get in any arguments with your dad?
All the time. We fight often.
That's funny. It's called what is it, creative differences? Is that what they call it?
Yes, very much so. Very much so. We both have big egos. It's a tough room when both of our egos are in it.
Hey, I'm all for the women. I'm for gender empowerment. So I'm all for women writers and directors and producers. So that's where my hat is. See, nonstop, I'm on your side. And Rossi. All right, Rossi, give your social media links.
RA Nation podcast group on Facebook or on YouTube at Music Familia Productions.
Terri.
Nonstop Terri Marie on all platforms, and then my website is terrimarieofficial.com.
And your TikTok?
Oh, I said on all platforms. It's Terri Marie Nonstop on all platforms.
Hey, I'm trying to plug your TikTok. Stop it. Amanda.
Writing X Structure is my business. And if you Google Writing X Structure, it'll take you to my website where you'll find everything about me.
And Mark, what do you got coming up before you give your website?
Just working with lots of clients, a couple of great events where I'm backstage and working with the celebrities of the events. So that's what I'm looking forward to in the coming months. People can connect with me on Instagram at MarkPooler1, or they can go to contactmark.me. That's contactmark.me, and all my social media links are there as well.
So my prediction is that Amanda will be on Mark's show within the next 2 months. I see it coming already.
I'll be connecting with Amanda for sure.
Hey, that's waiting. A good thing. That's a good thing. So I have to say this. I want to thank everybody for coming on. I know Shawn has got busy with everything, but you'll be able to see the African American Film Critics in February on all the platforms, which will be great. Critics' Choice Show will be January 6th, 2022. That should be big. And like I said, most of those people, I'm going after them. I'm telling you, they're going to be at our events. I'm telling you right now, so don't be surprised when you see them. For those people that are lucky enough to come to the event in February, it's going to be great. So with that, as I always say this, if you have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow, and if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we'll see you next week.